Good evening, everyone. So let's move on to class. So last class we had discussed about how to set up, how to configure. So EKS cluster, how to configure EKS cluster in AWS cloud, and so once that is done, and how to we need to create the one client mission, and with the help of that client mission, we are able to will connect with your we can connect with your so EKS cluster and all. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now already last class we seen, right? So how to configure, how to set up EKS cluster and all. So already we have script, and with the help of access key and secret key. So just go on, first we need to create your own access key and secret key. Don't use my access key and secret key, it won't work. So first go to here, go to security credentials, go to security credentials. So under security credentials there is one option is there, access key. So under this, so just create your security, your account access key and secret key. See here. So we need to use your key. In that script already my access key secret key is there, but anyway it won't work. So we need to create your account access key, and so this and all we need to update in our script and all. You need to update in our script and all. Now go to that particular path. So already cluster is running. Again I don't want to execute rerun it. So now go to that script. Where is your script? And first we need to update this file, right? Go to main.tf file. So once, so here there is a see access key and secret key. We need to update your access key and your secret key. That's it. So mostly we need to update only this file. Once that is done, and so go to this particular path, right? So before that, so make sure that you have Terraform is installed or not. Okay. So under here, right? So under here, TLS. So there is a Terraform phase first init command, same commands only. These all are the repetitive. Daily we need to execute these commands. First validate, init, validate, plan, finally apply. Once your work is done, at the end, so we need to use the destroy command. So we need to use the destroy command. Destroy means, so right, already initial I explained it many times. So they will charge based on hours. So once your practice is done, finally just destroy it, your entire existing infrastructure and all. I hope you got it right. Anyone, any doubt here?
Yeah,
Clear,
clear, sir.
guys? Yeah. So now already cluster is running, and let me connect to my cluster. So first, so go to here. So go to my AWS and just EC2, EC2, click on EC2, and so here I have a client mission. So already here I have client mission. So first let me connect that instance. So instances, I don't have anything. Linux, which region? Not here. We need to change the so my instance running, my EKS cluster and all running here only. Okay. Now this is my client. So this is my, right now I used only one worker group, and so where we have to update how many workers, how many worker nodes and all. So this is the file desired size, right? So here I given only one for practice purpose, right? But if you want to based on requirement, we can increase, we can scale up, and we can increase and we can decrease. Okay. So here I given only one today. So that is the reason here we can see only one worker node, only one worker node. Okay. So let me connect this kubectl. Click on this. Click on the connect. This is my client. This is my client mission. Okay. So let me connect my client. So in this client, so we have to set up. So we need to install which software, which packages we need to set up. So AWS CLI, next kubelet, kubectl, right? So AWS CLI, kubectl, and AWS configure. We need to update. So now I connected. So control plus plus. Now, so now how to check nodes and all? How many worker nodes are running and all? I want to check it. So which is the what is the command? Kubectl get nodes. So in already in Docker Swarm also, right? So we can see, so we are checking that worker nodes and all. That is the reachable. That is the reachable. How many reachable and how many active drain already, right? Same here. If you want to check it, how many worker nodes in active. So now see here, I have only one worker node. I have only worker node. So last class I given count is 2. So now today I given only one. One is enough for me. And so now last class we discussed, right? So what is pod? How to create pod and all. So anyone any doubt? So here pod and all. Already last class I explained. So let me create one pod and all out. So pod is nothing but this is the. So what is pod? Already we explained. Pod is nothing. Pod we are always running on worker nodes only. Pod is nothing but this is the smallest building block or basic unit of scheduling your Kubernetes. So that is nothing but your containers. In Kubernetes cluster, a pod represents running process. Simply, if you want to understand, pod is nothing but this is a small instance to run our. So this is a running process. It represents inside pod. What it is running inside pod, which we are going to create containers, right? Inside the container, application is running. Correct. So this is pod represents running process. Pod running process. In it also many people asked. So what is pod? What is pod? Now we can say anything based on your knowledge. Okay, just remember one or two lines. A pod is nothing but this is the smallest building block to run your application. Our pod represents this is the running process to run your application. And so each inside pod you have one or more containers. So that is your wish. So how many containers we can create each pod? One or more containers. That is nothing but single container. So single container or multi-container pod. Single container pod or multi-container pod. Pod is group of one or more containers which will be running on the some nodes. And pod abstract network and storage of anything. And also each pod has unique IP address, unique network IP, and some storage and some network. And these resources used by containers inside containers. So these are the, and each pod has unique IP address within the cluster, and any data saved inside the pod will be disappeared without persisting storage. So if you save any data, that will store into pod, but without persistent, it we cannot get, we cannot right? We cannot show, we cannot get it. Anyway, we'll see later. Now this is the simple if you want to understand. And last class also we discussed, right? So how to create pod. Suppose if you don't know anything, just go to Google it first time, right? So that here mostly we are going to create a manifest file. So mostly we are going to YML scripting. Now we are learning, right? So this is like one scripting, guys. What is YML? What is YML means? This is the YML is the human readable data serialized languages, and this is like right one scripting area. So it is the human readable data serialization language. It is commonly used for what is the main purpose of YML files? Configuration files and applications where data is being stored and transmitted. So this is the one scripting language. Suppose if you don't know what is YML, just Google it. And so we need to follow some, right, indentation, and we can write in text format only. So how to write this and all, how to execute, how to what is the syntax and all. We need to follow some syntax. That is nothing but indentation. Otherwise, it won't work. So see here name, age, hobbies. So under hobbies, we need to give two spaces. We need to add your hobbies. Now programming languages. So under programming language, he added. This is the format. We need to follow like this. And every script starts with hyphen, hyphen, hyphen. And every script ends with the dot, 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 three dots. So if you want to, that is the best practice we can use. So every script, every YML file starts with hyphen dot dot. If you give three hyphen, that is dash 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 means now the controller, right? So it is identifying, oh, this is the YML file. So this is the YML file. So that Kubernetes easily identify. That is Kubernetes, that controller easily identify. This is the dot. Mostly we are using hyphen hyphen hyphen. If you are not giving also, if single object means no need to give. Suppose same file, this is the one file. In this file, if you want to add more objects, So that case mostly we need to follow this best practice and all. But if we have only one file, one manifest file, so no need to follow those things. Suppose if we have many, that case so that is so we should follow that syntax and all indentation. First, let me create one pod. Right? So now you know what is pod and all. Now we'll see some more information. What is now this is the pod lifecycle. So how pod will work? Already you know how to create a YML file, how to create pod and all. Now how it will work, see here. So make a pod request to the API server. So if we create any pod, so last class I given one command, right? Kubectl apply -f pod name. So the request to go to API server using the local pod definition file, that manifest file. The API server saves that information into the etcd. I hope everyone know what is etcd. In the etcd, this is the simple database and it will store key and value format. The scheduler finds the unscheduled pods. So now I created one pod. So which worker node you want to schedule? So the scheduler finds the unscheduled pod and schedule to the particular worker node. Now kubelet running on the node. You know, right? What is kubelet? Kubelet is nothing but this is the primary node agent. What is the main purpose of this? It is checking the container health status, whether it is running or not, and see the pod schedule and fires it fire up Docker, and Docker run on the container. The entire lifecycle state of the pod is stored into the etcd. This entire pod lifecycle, this information and all, where it will store API server etcd. So these are the pod. This is the pod emperor. This is listing every short time, and there is a two types of pod model types. So that is the one container per pod, multi-container pod or sidecar containers. Sidecar containers is nothing but so this is the multi-container pod. Don't confuse here. Don't confuse. So sometimes one or two people they asked what is sidecar container. Simply, if you want to understand, sidecar container is nothing but multi-container pod. Multi-container pod. One container per pod means only one container we can execute inside the pod. Suppose if you want to create multiple containers, so that case we go for sidecar container or multi-container pod. Clear guys? Anyone any doubt here? Now
Yeah,
if you
clear,
see
sir.
here, so this is see if you take this pod, so this is the sidecar container or single container pod. First one, pod one. This is the sidecar container. Sidecar, that is nothing but multi-container pod. This is the single container pod. This is also multi-container
Multi.
pod. That is your wish, up to you. We can create many containers also. We can create many containers inside the pod. So that is the reason we are calling, this is the naming convention. Just understand, see. So one or two people they asked what is sidecar containers. Sidecar containers is nothing but, so inside the pod we can create multiple containers. In this model, a pod can hold multiple co-located containers, primarily containers and utility. So we can create multiple containers. That's it. Very simple, for simple way if you want to understand, multiple containers running in the pod. Single can one container for pod means only one container running in the inside the pod. But anyway, each pod has an InQIP, that is network storage. These resources used by these containers inside these containers. That's it. See here, since pod is the smallest object that K8s recognize, it manage the pods instead of directly managing the containers. So directly managing the instead of directly managing the containers, here we are maintaining the pods. So inside the pod, we are going to create the container. Inside the pod, we are going to create the container. That's it. Very simple. Got it? Anyone, any doubt? Now, so how to create pod? For example, you don't know how to create pod and all. Just go and Google it. So everything they are giving API. That is a Kubernetes people, documents and all. So uh, pod example. See here. If you type means so this is the pods. See here, this is the official website guys. So mostly if you want to know more about, just go through this. So go through this. So this is the kubernetes.io. So this is the official website. Even we also mostly we are checking this one only. So just I am sending chat box, just try to check it. So now if you don't know anything, so what is pod, how to create pod and all, this is very simple way. See, pod is the smallest deployable unit of computing that you can create and manage your Kubernetes. Pod is nothing but pods are smallest deployable unit. So this is a smart. This is the official definition. See here. So pods are the smallest deployable unit of computing that can create and managing your Kubernetes cluster. That is Kubernetes objects. So pod is a group of one or more containers. So each pod has one container or multi containers. So with the shared storage and network resources. So every pod has some resource like IP address, some memory, some storage. So that and all used by specific for how you can run containers. A pod contents are always correlated and co-scheduled and run on the shared context. So suppose I have a pod. So my pod has, for example, just assume 500 MB storage and 1 GB RAM. So inside the container, all containers using only that existing resource only, and make sure that remember, and each pod has unique IP address. Every pod has unique IP address. Okay. So now with the help of that only it is working. It is running. Now this is a very simple syntax. How to create pod. So these are the syntax. API version. And what is the kind? Kind is nothing but which object you want. So whether you want pod object or deployment object, service object, namespace object, config map object, secret object, replica set, replica. These are the kind. What type of object you want? Kind is nothing represents object name. So last class already we know, right? So we seen many objects. So these are the basic Kubernetes objects. These are the mostly we are using topmost objects and all. So we can use any object. See here, here I can use a deployment. This is a pod. Pod also one object. So service also one object. Namespace, namespace also one object. Deployment. This is also one object. Next, so deployment. Next, one more object. What is that? Replication control. Simply RS. Replica set. Replication controller. Next, demand set. Next, so next config map. Next, secrets. Next, stateful set. So these are the main objects in Kubernetes, and with the help of these objects, right? So with the help of these objects, we are going to deploy your application. So we are going to deploy your applications. So this is RS is nothing but replica set. RS is nothing but replication controller, stateful set object. So these are the default object, guys. With the help of only we are going to create your manifest file, and also there is many is there PV persistent value. PV is nothing but persistent persistent value. Next one more is there PVC persistent volume claim, persistent volume claim, persistent volume claim. Anyway, coming classes we'll see all these things. Config map secrets. These are the Kubernetes objects. These are the topmost Kubernetes objects. We are going to use mostly these objects only. So these are the Kubernetes objects. And last class we seen, right? So what is pod? How to create pod? So now I am going to create a pod manifest file. So this is nothing but manifest file. First, we can give any file name. For example, pod hyphen test dot YAML or YAML. So this is first we need to create the one file YAML or YAML. Now you know, right? So what is the syntax? First API version. You know, right? So API version. So what is the syntax? API version v1. Okay. Next kind. This is the which kind. Kind is nothing but object name. Which object you want? Pod. Next, metadata. Metadata is nothing but so we can give name. Metadata is nothing but pod name. For example, you are giving test pod or Java pod, anything that is. So Java, we can give any name. Anyway, I'm giving Java web, same thing. Last class we created, right? Now there is a spec. Spec is nothing but specification, guys. specification. What this specification represents container information. This specification represents container. Spec is nothing but specification. Here there is a containers, containers. So this is the containers. So next containers. This is the syntax, guys. Name. So we can give container name. We can give name of the container. So we can give name of the container. We can give name of the container. We can give any name. That is up to you only. We can give any name. So this is the container name. So after container, next image. So this is the actual image name. So here we need to update. We need to name of the so image name. This is the image name. You know, right? A Docker image name. Image name. Next, so next ports, next ports. So under ports, container port number. This is hyphen space container port number. Container port. So which port? What is the Tomcats on container port? I am passing like this. So yesterday I created this one only, right? So this is very simple only. Okay. So let me create one. Let me create one pod. So it is timeout. Just reconnect it. Now anyone any doubt here? How to create pod and all? Clear, guys? This is very important. Inter purpose. Many people asking, can you write manifest file for a pod? Can you write manifest file for deployment object? Can you write manifest file for a service object? Now got it? Anyone any doubt here? Hello, clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. So just only maximum. So each every manifest file maximum 20 to 30 lines only. Just by heart it. So this is very useful for interview purpose. So many people nowadays they are asking, can you write any one manifest file sample like nginx file or Tomcat or Jenkins, whatever it may be. But syntax is same only for all. For syntax is same only for all. So let me connect my instance and so now connected. Clear the screen. Okay. Now I'm going to create a manifest file. So how to create a VI? First sudo. Now I'm in normal user sudo VI. I am using, for example, pod one dot so YAML or YML. We can give anyone. Okay. So pod underscore exe example. Okay. Or pod whatever name we can give any name. So pod so example dot YML. Okay. Now insert, you know, right? In Linux, same editor. I is nothing but insert mode. Now this is the syntax. API version. So API version. So what is the pod API version? V1. And so this is the kind. Which object you want to create? Pod object. Next, metadata. Metadata. Metadata is nothing but so your name. So your pod name. So I given right. So Java web. So our Tomcat web, Tomcat. So this is my pod name. Pod name means so web app. Just I'm giving. Next, this is the specification. Spec, SPCK. Spec is nothing but specification. So this spec represents which specification? Container related specification. Container information. Clear, guys? Don't confuse here. Container information. Okay. Now containers. The containers under containers so hyphen name, so we can give container name. What is this my container? Tomcat. I am giving a Tomcat. So Tomcat so Tomcat, just whatever you want. Tomcat container and the whatever name we can give it. Okay. Next, image. Where is your image? So this is my register name and my image name. Maven hyphen web hyphen application. My tag name. You know, right? How it is coming? Application colon my tag name one. Next, port. Ports. This is syntax. Ports. Next, hyphen container port. Container and container port. So what is the Tomcat container port number? We can give any number, guys, any number. So anyway, I am giving default port number Tomcat 8080. Clear? Now got it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is the syntax. So now escape colon x, save and quit. Now how to run your manifest file? How to run? kubectl kubectl kubectl. Next apply hyphen f and your file name. What is my file name? Pod example. Anyone any doubt here, guys? So first you need to create the YML file. So what is this YML file? This is like a text format, but you need to follow some indentation. We need to follow syntax. Okay. How to run this manifest file? This is a command. kubectl apply hyphen f. F is nothing but file name. What is your file name? File. Now if we have any error, now it will see what is this error. Same name available or not? So pod Java web apps invalid spec foreground pod updates may not be change fields other than spec context something. What is it? Allowed to be split. Mm, 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 mm. Containers. Any spelling mistake? Let me open edit sudo va. So API any spelling? Just take it. API version v1 kind pod or so we can give any name. So insert if already name is there, it will say anyway. So Tom, we can give any name. Tomcat Java, Tomcat Java web. Okay, I given. Now spec under the spec containers. Correct only, right? Hyphen name Tomcat container image ports 8080. That's it. Tomcat. Any typo error? No, right? Tomcat hyphen name image ports correct hyphen container p capital letter correct only. So now containers metadata kind escape colon x. So let me check it. Is there any kubectl delete hyphen all. If existing one, I am going to delete. So existing, if already existing objects is there, just I am deleting that existing and all. That's it. Now I'm going to create. Okay. Anyway, deleted all. Now check it. kubectl kubectl get pods. Do you have any pods? I don't have any pods. Now ls. Now how to run this? So kubectl apply hyphen f and your manifest file name pod. Correct. Now pod is created. Anyone any doubt, guys? Here pod is created. Now check it how pod is created or not. kubectl get pod po or pod, we can use both. So now see here my pod is running. This is my pod name. Suppose if you want to know more about your pod, what is the command? Yesterday we already explained, right? Anyone? I want to know some information. So like Docker only. What is the command? kubectl. Which command? kubectl. What is the command? I want to know some information about my pod. So what is the command? Last class I explained, right? kubectl describe. Achvinara. Describe pod and pod name. What is the pod name? kubectl describe pod name. Tomcat Java web. kubectl describe server doesn't access pod and pod name. Okay, pod and pod name. So this is a command. Mostly we are using this command. If you want to know more about, now see here, kubectl describe pod name, and this is the name of the pod name. What is the namespace default? And see here, this is a container ID. So it is created container ID, and this is your image, and this is your tag name, and this is your port number. And see here, this and all. Now if you see here, it is pulling the events. What are it executed? Normal scheduled. Okay, age 80 seconds ago. Default scheduler successfully assigned default Tomcat web. This is the IP. This is my node. Next, pulled this one, and it is created normally, and it is created container Tomcat container, and also started Tomcat container. Now clear, guys? Anyone any doubt here? So describes is nothing but right? So if you want to know more about your pod, so that case we go for what is the command name? So this is a command kubectl describe pod name. Now got it? Tomcat Java Web App. This is my pod name actually. Okay. The CTL describe pod Tomcat Java Web. Maybe typo. First, let me get that. Kubectl get parts. Kubectl get parts. So now we can use it. Kubectl describe pod name Tomcat Java Web, not app, only Java Web, not app. Okay. So now we can get it. Clear, guys? Anyone any doubt here? Hello.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Now see here kubectl get. I want to see more columns. Now if you see kubectl get pods means now you can see only name column, ready, status, and age. Now I want to see a few more columns. This is the command kubectl get pods -o wide. This is one more command, guys. So if we give this wide, now see here, we can see name column, ready column, status column, restart, age, and IP address, and also node where this pod is running. Which pod it is running? This is my pod. Sorry, this is my node. This is my node. Now see here. So this is my node. Now see here, check it whether it is matched or not. kubectl get nodes. kubectl get nodes. Now correct. So IP hyphen 10 hyphen 0 hyphen 3, that is nothing but 10.0.10.3.101 is to compute. This is the DNS name. Clear, guys? Anyone any doubt? Now got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, so now this is running this is a pod, and in the my pod is created. In the pod container is running. So how to connect container? Tell me Docker command. How to connect your container? In Docker, suppose you created one container. Suppose I want to connect my Tomcat, I want to connect my Docker container. What is the command? Docker command. What is the command? Docker command. So right? So you created container, Docker container. How we are connecting Docker container? You created one container. What is the command? How to connect container? Docker command. Just tell me Docker command. Docker. This is my container. We created one container. Just assume this is the container. Container is created Tomcat container or anything. Just assume Tomcat container. Java application is running. I want to connect that container. How we can connect container? What is the command? Docker exec -it. Next Docker exec -it. Next container id. Correct. Next we are giving a bin bash. Correct. గుర్తున్నాయా మర్చిపోయినారా? Hello. Now what is this command? If you want to connect your container Docker, this is the command. Now I'm in Kubernetes. Now pod. Inside the pod my container is running. Correct. Now I want to connect this container. How can I connect this container? This is the command, guys. So kubectl, 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 same exec and pod name. What is your pod name? What is your pod name? This is your pod name. Pod name space -c and what is the container name? How I know container name? So in manifest file I given one name, right? Tomcat container. Correct. Tomcat container space remaining story same only. I want to connect bash mode. Now see what is this? Deprecated will be removed version kubectl. Use kubectl exe pod. I given only, right? Okay, or else I am giving. First let me check it my pod container name. Container name. Cat space pod hyphen text. This is my container name. Tomcat container. Tomcat container container. Container. Okay. Now this is the command kubectl exec -it pod and pod name. What is your pod name? This is my pod name. Copy this one and this is the pod name. Space -c container name. What is my container name? This is my container name. Space /bin/bash. That's it. Now kubectl exec-it pod not found. Java. Let me check it. kubectl get pods tomcat on, right? kubectl exec-it. So pod name paste -c. -c is nothing but a container name. -c is nothing but here container name and bin bash. Now connected. Now see here. Now I am in container. Now if you want to check it files and all, remaining story same only. Remaining story same only. ls. If you want to see all these things. Now Docker same. This is Docker command only, but a slight modification. In Docker we are using this command. In Kubernetes we are using this command. That's it. So if you know very well Docker, we can easily play with Kubernetes also. kubectl exec -it next pod name space -c container name slash bin bash or bash. We can give anything. Now anyone any doubt guys here? Hello?
Yeah, clear, sir.
This is very important. Now how to check logs and all? Now how to check? So I created container. Now I want to check the logs. Now how to check the logs and all? Anyone? So in Docker also you will know, right, how to check logs and all. In Docker what is the command? Docker. We are using Docker logs. Same Docker commands only. Here also I am using same commands only. So Docker logs container ID. Correct? Container ID we are giving. And same way here if you want to check logs and all. So this is the command kubectl logs and pod name. Here I am giving pod name. That's it. Now check it here. So kubectl. If anything goes wrong or not, if you want to check it, kubectl get pods. Next kubectl logs. And what is this? Just paste it. Now see here. So it is deployed your application. Let's use your local Tomcat Web Apps Manager. It is deployed on our application. So in the application, it is running. So if you want to check logs and all, so this is a command. Same Docker only, but only commands will change. Nothing, it won't change anything. If you know very well Docker, we can easily play with Kubernetes also. If you don't know Docker, so this is very difficult to handle Kubernetes. Clear, guys? Anyone any doubt here?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay. Now, so I created one application, and so here pod is created. Inside pod container is running. Everything working fine. Now, how to check output? So how to see output? So now, if you want to check, now it is running only inside the cluster, right? This is my cluster. So this is my cluster. Now see, observe here. If you understand, this is very simple. So now this is a master, right? So now I created only one cluster. This is my worker node. This is my Kubernetes master. This is the Kubernetes master. So as of now, how many worker nodes I am maintaining today? Only one worker node, correct? So this is the worker node. Don't confuse here. This is the that is your wish. Worker node. This is my worker node, and here one pod is created. What is my pod name? Cat web app. Okay, and here we created one container. What is the container name? Cat container. So in this container, which application running? My application. This is Maven web application is running. So Maven hyphen web hyphen application version tag is one is running. So now this application is running. Now how to check output? So as of now, this is running only worker node. Now in Kubernetes, there is a service is there. There is one object is there, service object. Now what is service object? We need to know. So now we can understand. So a service is responsible for making your pods discoverable inside the network or exposing them to internet. Now, so now my application is running worker node. This is inside the cluster. Inside the cluster. This is inside the cluster. So this is inside the cluster. Now I want to access my application via browser. So how to access it? So if you want to access your application via browser or somewhere, see here. So there is one object is there, service object. Service is a responsible for making our pod discoverable inside the network or exposing them to internet. Now mostly, right, real time we are using inside or outside. Mostly we are searching via browser only, right? So now I mean to say, if you want to access your application browser, there is one object is there. What is that object name? Service object. What is the object name? Service object. This is also an object, guys. Don't confuse. But what it will do? Service is a responsible for making your pod discoverable. Which application you want to access. Now, if we come to here, there is a three types of services available. This is interval also very important. Many people asking. So, can you explain how many types of services in? So, this is one is first one is cluster IP. Cluster IP. Second one is node port. Node port. Third one is load balancer. So fourth one is external name. Mostly if you want to connect anything, other things. So that's it. We'll see later. So these are the main cluster IP, node port, load balancer. So what is cluster IP? What is node port? What is load balancer? Simply I am going to explain here. Now we can understand. Cluster IP means we can access your application inside this worker node one, inside the cluster. Only we can access inside the cluster. Inside the cluster. We cannot access outside browser and all. Suppose if you want to access your application browser also. So that case we go for a node port. That case browser, via browser, via browser. Now there is load balancer, right? So for self-managed and all, mostly we are using node port. Right now I am using EKS, right? And EKS and all, we need to use load balancer. I want to access my application via browser, and so that case mostly we are using this is the EKS cluster. It will support EKS. It won't support, no need to update anything in our self-managed cluster. Anyway, I am using EKS, right? Now, this is the one service. A service type I need to use load balancer. If you want to see your output browser, so I need to write one service object. So in the service object, we need to type, there is a syntax guys. This is a syntax. Type, typ, type, one tag is there. And a tag, so service type you need to mention. Service type. Which type, which object you want to access. This is very simple one. Now we know, right? Pod. Now same way, so there is a service object is also is there. In service object also, we need to maintain same syntax. We need to maintain same syntax. We need to maintain same syntax. So that syntax like, right? Pod how to write same way service. Here I am going to write the same way. So API version same. This is also V1 and kind. Now here pod or service. Service. This is the service. This is also an object. Metadata. 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 So metadata name. Okay. Service name. Service name. Now same spec, and there is same also specification. Specification. Under specification. Type. Type equal to service type. Service type. Right? Four types. Three types as of now. So which type, cluster IP or node port or load balancer? Next, there is a selector. There is a selector tag is there. Under selector, and we need to give so key name, key and name. This is the key, and we are giving a value. Next, ports. Under the ports, and hyphen port, same syntax. Hyphen port, and this is a service port. Service port. Default it is 80. Default one 80 only. I will write it. Now target port. How can you access it? Target port. Target port means so I given 8080 something. Whatever it may be, we can give. Now, as of now, pod is ready. Let me create one service object. Let me create one service object. Now we can easily understand how it will access. So service also an object, guys. So what is service object? Service object is nothing but this is the responsible for making your pod discoverable. Which application you want to access in real time? So not only one application, right? In real time, many applications is running. Which application you want to access? Which application you want to access? Which application you want to access? And that case you go for that case you go for service object. That case, what is service object? It is discoverable object. It is discoverable your parts, and it is discoverable your application. See here, pod discoverable inside the network or outside the network, or if you want to access your application via browser. So these are the types: cluster IP, and so node port, cluster IP, node port, and also load balancers. This is the load balancers. Cluster IP nothing but we can access inside the cluster. See here, cluster internal IP service only reachable from the within the cluster. So this is the default one. This is the default one, guys. So this is the by default. This is the default one. And so if you want to, we can update external port. This is the node port, right? Expose the service each node IP at the static port. So cluster IP service within the node port service will not. Let me decrease size. Route automatically created. So here we are mentioning, see here, type equal to node port. So we can access via browser. So we can able to connect the node port service from the outside the cluster by using the node IP colon port number. We can access. There is one more service type, load balancer. See, expose the service externally using the cloud providers. So now I am using cloud provider. Which cloud provider I am using? AWS cloud provider. Node port and cluster IP services to be within the external load balancer will route. Automatically it is created. So simply we need to give so type equal to load balancer. Now got it, right? So if you are using any providers, that case we go for load balancer. If you want to access the only, suppose if you are not using any cloud, so that case we go for node port. We don't want to access browser, that case we go for cluster IP. Very simple. Anyone any doubt here? So there is three types of services. There is a three types of services. What is the first type? Cluster IP. Second one, node port. Third one, load balancer. So cluster IP we can access only inside the cluster. We cannot access outside. Node port means, so we can use via browser. But this is self-managed, mostly we are using. But anyway, here I am using EKS, right? That is the cloud provider. Now mostly we go for load balancer. Now let me quickly create one service. Now we can understand how it will work. Already we have pod, right? So sudo vi pod. This is the pod, guys. So now if you want, in same file we can write, in same file if you want to, we can write many. In same file if you want to, we can write so many, write objects also we can add it. So that case hyphen hyphen 3 minus at the end. We need to use, so three dots. Okay. So three dots we can use dot dot dot. So next I want to write one more object. Again I starts with three hyphen. Now same I am writing. So API. Now see here API version v1. Next kind. Now what is the kind? Which object? Pod or service? Already pod object. Already I have pod. Now I want one service object. I want to access my particular application. So here service. Next metadata. Metadata. Same story only. Metadata. What is metadata? Name. Your service name. For example, so Tomcat web. They are giving a web S SRC service or SVC service. Next, next SPC spec, right? So under the spec, so under the spec, so there is a type, right? Type. So what is the default service type? Cluster IP. So here I don't want to use cluster IP. Here I am using AWS, right? So here I am using load balancer. Load balancer. Next. So selector. So now if you come to real time, right? So here my application is running. For example, here I deployed one more application. Which application you want to access? How I know? So here only one application is running. For example, here I deployed one more application also. Which application I want to access? So that case there is a one tag is there. There is a one tag is there. Selector tag. There is a one tag is there. What is the tag name? Selector tag. Under the selector tag, here I am giving some name. App equal to, for example, Java web. App I given or application. Java web application. So this is the guys. This is the tag. Next, same ports under the ports. So now hyphen port. These are the syntax. We need to remember port colon. So what is the default port? 80. So what is the default port? 80. And so container target port. Target port. Target port. Target port. Target. Wait. Target port colon. So 8080. Now, so this target port should match with the container port. This is the rule. So how this service object discover this particular application based on this information only. This target port number should match with the this. For example, here you given 9090. Here also we need to maintain 9090. For example, here I given 7070. Here I need to maintain 7070. How these two objects connecting each other via 80? You know, right? What is the HTTP port number, default port number? HTTP. If you go to AWS security, right? If you go to AWS security, HTTPS port number, SSH port number 22, HTTPS port number 443, HTTP port number 80. Now got it? Gurtunda? So these are the default port numbers, guys. We need to remember. So now I given a JBall. So this is the rule. Now, so which port number you given here, same port number we need to give here also. Target. Now what is this port number? This is the connection. This is the different object. This is the different object. How these two are connecting internally with the help of HTTP only. This is default port number 80. Leave it default port number 80 only. Now, so now here I given type equal to load balancer. Okay. Here I given selector. So which name I given here? Java Web Apps. Now how? So is there any matched here? Any name match with the pod? No, right? How this service object discovering this application? It is discovering, it is finding the related this name. Do we have any name here? No. So for this, so there is a one tag is there. There is a one tag is there. So under the metadata labels, this is the syntax, guys. We need to add extra labels labels. So now what name I given here? App equal to Java Web Apps. Same name we can give here. Or already we given here same name we need to give here also. That's it. Now this is the service object. Now particularly it is accessing which application? This application. Suppose if we have multiple containers, which container you want to access, which application you want to access, how to find it. These are the rules, guys. These are the rules. These are the rules. Now it is checking with this is the service object and type equal to load balancer and selector. I given one name. Now it go and check. Hey, is there any matched or not? Yes, it is matched. Now it is checking. This is the container port. So this target port matched or not? Yes, it is checking. Now this 80 it is communicate with both and it is accessing only this particular application. This is your service name. This is your pod name. This is your type, service type. This is the selector. This selector should match with the label name. You have one label, right? For example, Krishna. I don't know. Krishna don't have any name. How can I call it? For example, Prasad don't have any name. How can I call it? So label is nothing but one name. We assign one name. Based on that name, I can easily call it. Now, if I call Prasad means Prasad will reply. If I call Krishna means Krishna will reply, right? Now got it, guys?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah. So now metadata file is ready. Now let me deploy it. Escape x save and. Now before that, let me check it. Do we have any service? How to check services? kubectl get svc service. Now see here. This is the default service, guys. This is created by Kubernetes. Now I added one service, right? How to execute it? Now execute it. kubectl apply -f kubectl apply -f. Where is that? Let me create execute it. Cube. So kubectl apply -f pod, correct, pod example. Now if we have okay, see here pod is created. So now it is created, it is showing like configure. What is this meaning? Already pod is there. Now I updated some information. It is updated. That is nothing configured, nothing but it is updated. Now created means it is newly created. Just now it is created. It is not existing one. It is newly created, but already pod is there. But here we can see configure means something updated. I added label, right? That's it. Now how to check services? See here, kubectl get svc. Now see here we can see one service name. What is the service name? Tomcat Web SVC. This is my service name. What is the type I given? Load balancer. And so what is the cluster IP? This is your cluster IP. So this is your cluster IP. And this is your external IP. If you want to access outside, we need to use this one. That's it. Now let me show one more thing. So kubectl describe what is my service name. Now we can know everything. What is the port number, how it is running, you can know everything. kubectl svc for svc and svc name. So svc and svc name. Okay, now see here. So this is the namespace default. This is the service name. And see here selector. Which name I given? App equal to web apps. Type equal to load balancer. And this is the IP. This is your pod IP. And this is the target port 8080. This is the node port. This is the 3230925. 30925. Some by default it is giving one name, one IP, one number. So anyway, we'll see. So this is the endpoint. So this is your endpoint. Now see here load balancer. Just copy this one, or else here also we can copy. So copy this load balancer and go to your browser. Just paste it. That's it. Now see here whether your application access or not. Now we have to wait. Now see here. See Tomcat server is accessing. Now I'm giving slash slash maven maven my context name maven hyphen web hyphen application. Now see here. Now I can able to access my application or not. I hope you got some idea, right? What is pod? What is service object? So without service object, can you access your application out browser?
No.
Without service object, can you access your application via browser?
No, sir.
No. So just a interview also they will ask. So I want to access my application outside the world. So which object we need to create? Which object? Service object. And what is the service type? Now I am using load balancer, or we can use node port also. Okay, suppose if you are using EKS and all, we need to use load balancer. If you are using any self-managed and all, so we are going to use so type equal to node port. Type equal to node port. That's it. Anyone any doubt as of now? So we need to practice. So this is very interesting only, but very simple only. But if you know Docker very well, we can easily play with Kubernetes also. If you don't know Docker, this is I'm not saying 100% difficult. There is somewhat difficult. Okay, we cannot understand so clearly. Now if you know Docker, we can easily play with Kubernetes. Okay, clear guys. So now we know pod. Now we know what is service object. So next class we'll see a few more. Okay, so that's it from my side today. If you have any doubt, we can ask, or else